Critical Role's long-awaited TTRPG, Daggerheart, is finally here, and it's pretty neat. The duality dice are cool, the fear mechanic is a clever alternative to initiative, the environment stat blocks are a nifty way to share bite-sized scenes, and to further indulge my hunger to one day compress the entire world into a stat block. And the campaign frames are perfect. They take all the crap I don't use and throw it out, leaving me with just the ideas that make the setting what it is, which is exactly all you need if you're not running the game for your first time. But of course, along with a new system comes new monster stat blocks. Which is great, and I like them. The team at Darrington Press did a great job with taking the mechanics that they've created and using them in interesting ways. Wizards of the Coast couldn't even do that when they printed the same book a second time. However, while the campaign frames are indeed jujuing on that beat, if you read the fine print, you will notice that we have a lack of frame-specific adversaries. That's where I come in. You see, Matthew Mercedes-Benz knew a stupid such as myself would just make those stat blocks for them. So, well, yeah. I made a handful of stat blocks for the Age of Umbra setting, because it says inspired by Dark Souls on the box, and that's hot. So for starters, I made an environment stat block. These are basically just mechanics to represent a certain area or event taking place in the game. Since Age of Umbra has these pyres that keep the bad out, I decided to make a stat block for one that didn't do that. It's called Derelict Pyre, and you can find such fun exhibits as Insomnia, Screw You in particular, and don't worry if you die, it's for the plot. Next, I made an actual monster stat block, a tier 1 enemy called called Blight Vessel. It can go invisible sometimes, and while it's doing that, it can lower your hope die. Also, it can yell at you and make your fear die into a d20, just as God intended. Next, I made a tier 3 enemy called the Umbra Walker. This is my interpretation of how the Umbra in this setting might manifest as specific creatures. And if Maddie Mercury doesn't make this canon to the Umbraverse, in his silly little program that nobody watches, I will probably be mad. The Umbra Walker is all about stressing out his foes, kinda like the IRS, and also like the IRS, he will send shadow demons to your house, which is exactly why I created this tier 2 minion stat block, called Mangled Puck. It's fairly in line with the standard minion archetype, but has an ability that makes you even more stressed out when you kill it. This plays further into the Umbra Walker because he can summon a bunch of these silly little guys. So then to cap all this off, I made a tier 4 solo stat block that acts as the final boss of the Derelict Pyre. See, the pyres in Age of Umbra are managed by pyre keepers. And so with this being a no longer lit pyre, I made a stat block for an undead pyre keeper called Ash Keeper. She has Relentless, can give you lung cancer, can straight up kill you, and has a countdown where at the end of it she dies? Wait, did I read that right? I actually made 2 tier 4 stat blocks because Daggerheart has a phase change mechanic. So when this boss dies, she turns into this boss. So here in second phase is Corrupted Pyre Keeper. And I ain't reading all that, but trust me, this stat block is fire. Her main mechanic is Ignite, which is a debuff that she can apply through various goofs and gaffs. And this phase also has a countdown that reignites the pyre, but like with bad fire. The other fire is good, but this one is bad. You see, that the other fire is good fire. You understand? But this fire is bad fire. Is this canon yet, Matt?